Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Queen of the Ring channel. I am your host, Alex Lajas, and today we are watching Dark Side of the Ring. It is season 4, episode 3. We're already 3 episodes in. This is about the Graham family, and I will say, I don't know anything about this family. Once again, another episode where I don't really know too much of the subject, and that is totally fine because that's the way I love to view episodes like this because I'm going to learn about them already. I didn't know too much about last week's subject, who was Magnum TA, and gee, what a heartbreaking story. And it's one of those stories, yet again, that we continue to talk about every single week, especially during these watchalongs, where these stories stick with you. They stick with you, and you think about you just like you can't help but to think about it all day. Till the next episode, and that was definitely one of them. I had some long conversations with friends and other creators about Magnum TA and how much of a heartbreaking story his experience was in his short career in professional wrestling in this business. But today's topic is about the Graham family, and again, I don't know anything about them. However, I am aware that they have a wild story. They have an absolute wild story. I have no idea what it is because I don't know anything about them because all I've seen is people tweeting it out. And I know Dark Side of the Ring, their accounts have retweeted other people talking about how excited they are about tonight's episode and how it's going to be a wild, wild journey that we are about to embark on. So I'm very excited that you and us together, we are going to experience this. So I'm very excited to get into tonight's episode. Yeah, that's all I've seen. And I know that Dark Side of the Ring on their Instagram, not too sure if they do it on their Twitter, but definitely on their Instagram, they have little sneak peeks, little snippets of the episode. And I saw that they posted one for tonight's episode on Instagram, but I made it a point not to watch it because I just want to go in fresh. I don't want to know too much about what's going to happen for tonight. So, very excited to get into it. Yet another fantastic episode that we are going to watch together. Joseph, I see your comment. Will Meister, hello everybody joining us right now. That was a great topic last week. It was a great topic last week, and again, I had conversations with friends where, again, I knew about Magnum TA. I've heard of him, didn't know anything. And we've mentioned this last week on last week's watch along, where just heartbreaking. It's just heartbreaking, but it's heartbreaking, but it's also in a way it's sad to say, but refreshing to encounter a story where it was just a freak accident. And that sounds messed up to say, probably, but I mean towards, there was no involvement of drugs, there was no involvement of alcohol when the accident occurred. And I mentioned this last week. So definitely, if you haven't already, go check out last week's watch along about Magnum TA. And also, while you're at it, checking out the channel, you can hit the subscribe button and, of course, give this live a thumbs up because it helps me and the channel so much to get on out there with the algorithm, because everywhere the algorithms are all over the place. Your Twitter, you got its own bot algorithm that I don't even know what's going on over there. TikTok's algorithm is just on 3,000, 9,000. I don't even know, just its final form, I guess. So definitely give this video a thumbs up and it helps me a lot. So, is there anything that you guys know about this story, about the Graham family? I don't know anything about them, and I would love to know anything that sticks out to you before we head into this Dynasty. I mean, they're already hyping it up with the the uh the commercial right now. And yeah, I don't know anything about them and I'm really excited to get into it. New episode next. We got 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left. You know, I'm not going to lie. This is one of the episodes when they announced the list of episodes and the list of subjects that we were going to watch for this season. This was, I'm not going to lie. You know, sometimes there's some where it's like, I don't really, there just is, you know? Sometimes you're going to have some good episodes that you're really hyped about. And then other times you're just going to not have episodes that you're not hyped about. And then you watch it and you're like, what the fuck did I just watch? Oh my God. That story, that episode, it was wild. And then that's it. So I think that this episode tonight is definitely probably going to be one of them. Definitely one of them. But yes, thank you, Scotty. One of our mods, of course, says there are some trigger warnings for suicide in this episode. But, you know, there's a lot of trigger warnings when it comes to Dark Side of the Ring. Dark Side. So, Dark Side, baby. That's not right. Anyway, yes, trigger warnings for tonight's episode, of course. Joshua Sweeney says commercial makes them sound like the Florida Von Erichs. That's actually interesting. That's interesting. And I know that they're currently making a Von Erichs movie as well. I believe it's A24, and A24 does not miss. So they're making a Von Erichs movie, and I believe Zac Efron is playing Kevin Von Erich. So that's definitely something to look out for in the future. I don't think that there is a trailer just yet or a release date, but I know that there are some on-set paparazzi pics of Zac Efron in the Kevin Von Erich getup. He looks shredded and he's got the hair and everything. Yes, Scotty, I know. I'm pretty sure I said that in the mod chat, but I absolutely know that. I think I mentioned it on Twitch last week as well. Yes, so usually when I do watch-alongs, they are on both Twitch and YouTube. And hey, if you're subscribed to my YouTube and you're like, what? I didn't know you had a Twitch channel. Indeed, I do. Twitch.tv/Queen of the Ring. Come through, follow. We have a good time over there. But we usually do watch-alongs on both. StreamYards is able to do both, but it was very hard for me to keep up with YouTube and Twitch. So now, and originally Dark Side of the Ring, when I did the past 2 seasons, it all lived on YouTube. So it's going to continue to stay on YouTube for now. So yes, we are a minute away. We're about to get started on this episode. Let's get to it. What's up, Alex Joe here? I've missed your live streams before. Happy to be back. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming back, of course. I really appreciate it. Appreciate it, guys. And I see some names in the chat as well that have joined me for previous episodes for our watch along. So thank you so much. Highly appreciate it. And let's get into tonight's episode, y'all. We just started. And of course, I will read comments during the commercial break. We'll be able to talk about our thoughts during the commercial breaks. And if you guys have any super chats, I will pop them up on the screen and read it out loud, and so everybody can read it out loud as well. But if you do send in a super chat, that would normally be read during commercial breaks. FYI. Just letting you guys know. Let's get into this episode. That all rhymed, and that was really cool. Just going off the dome. Just going off the dome, man. I've got bars. All right, let's get into this episode. Yes, and hit that like button. Thank you, donuts. The wrestling culture is definitely cutthroat. Oh boy. This seems like it's going to get really dark. The daughter. Magnum TA. Not the callback. Andre. I'd be if I was like a kid and Andre the Giant entered my door the way that he would, just crouching down. I'd be scared of him too. Are you kidding me? The traditional bombastic side eye. If you know, you know. You would pray your house didn't collapse, yeah. Could you imagine growing up as a wrestling fan and you have wrestlers just always crashing at your place because of your dad and your granddad? It's Kevin Sullivan. Every wrestler had bleach blonde hair back in the day. Why was that? Oh, I guess it's like the American guy. Blonde hair, American guy, right? Dottie Curtis. That's a great name, Dottie Curtis. Mm. Dr. Jerry Graham. Look at that ring gear, though. The Golden Grams. Oh, wow. The reenactments are in black and white? That's actually kind of cool. That is really cool. That with the reenactments during this time are in black and white. That is so fucking clever. Even small things like that on this show is, to me, is what makes it so fascinating. Just sticking to the craft, staying consistent, and just being so creative. Look at that. It's so cool. Because usually you'd have like the lighting, right? The infamous lighting, like this lighting right here. Phoenix, Arizona, in this. Oh, his mom was in the hospital? What? 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 Why? I mean, I understand you're sad about your mom. What? So then do that. Why'd you have to do all that? Why'd you have to get guns? That's a wild headline. Wrestler flees hospital with body. So that was Dr. Jerry who did that. And Eddie was like, peace out. I don't want anything to do with you, and moved to Florida. Okay. Wow. So he. Wow. So he, like, pretty much made it a thing of Florida being a wrestling state in a way. I mean, the Performance Center is there. AEW performed in Jacksonville throughout the whole pandemic. I mean, he's a trendsetter. An autograph during a match is wild. Who's that? Who's that? McMahon's never heard of them. Whoa. He became a big shot. Uh-oh. Who's this actor? Who's this wrestler? Sure, back in the day, yes. What is this? The Heart Dungeon? What'd you have to do? What'd you do? Like what? Are they gonna show him break his arm? Oh, please don't show that. Please don't show that. I don't want to see that. Oh no, not the male toxic behavior in professional wrestling. Brand new information, never been done before. Wow. All right, we're at a commercial break, folks. We are 23 minutes into this stream. We are 14 minutes into this episode. Thoughts, feelings, how our. First of all, let's address the elephant in the room. You walk into the hospital and you're. Listen. Knocking on wood. When my mom passes away, it's gonna happen. I will be absolutely devastated, as anyone would be if a parent, especially a parent that you're very close to, passes away. You would be absolutely devastated. In that regard, valid emotions, right? Dr. Jerry Graham, that's his name, right? Valid emotions. I'm going to validate his emotions. I will not condone the reaction, the behavior, the fact that you're like, damn, my mom's dead. I had to go to the hospital with a shotgun, a revolver, and a hunting knife. Shoot up, which I'm sorry, like, shoot up the place. And that's so fucking wild, especially now in 2023, all the things that we're dealing with now in the world with mass shootings. But it's so fucking wild to think that this guy walked into a hospital, especially the lawless land that was like the 70s, 60s, and he's like, I just want to bury my mom. And like was trying to wheel her out and then just took her corpse. And then I feel like this video and my channel is about to be demonetized because of what I'm saying right now. What? Are you kidding me? Again, the emotion behind that, absolutely valid. The reaction, no! What are you doing, Jerry? Of course it's a guy named Jerry doing something dumb like that. Are you kidding me? What? Like, what is going on? I am dumbfounded. I really am dumbfounded. That is just the wildest thing. How do you get away with that? Did he get away with that? Did he get arrested? Did they even say that? I know, first commercial, I'm already so dumbfounded. Like, I feel like we're barely into this episode. We've barely got into the nit and gritty of this all. I mean, it is pretty gritty so far because of even the stories about the training, but we're back on, episode is back. Let's continue watching. Hey, Jason Eisner, one of the creators of Dark Side of the Ring. Thank you so much for stopping by. And the chat could probably do a whole episode on Dr. Jerry Graham. Thanks for doing the watchalongs again. Of course I will. Super big fan. Also, dude, we were just saying, very clever to do the reenactments from this episode in black and white. So fucking creative, dude. Cinema. Love it so much. Congratulations on a fantastic season yet again. The damn alcohol. This kid? What in the Mission Impossible is this kid thinking? Mike, what are you thinking? He has a very defined face. Like, he has a very chiseled face. Yeah, especially if you're his son. That's a lot of pressure. Mm. Yeah, of course. You don't want to be the top guy, especially in that position of being his son. Oh, look at Dusty. Dusty looking a little hot in that photo. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. And you go to school. Jeez, you imagine like having a dad like that who's wrestling? Big names, and Hulk Hogan. Also Ric Flair. I love how much Dusty has been a part of this season, even from the Magnum TA episode. Uh oh. What you doing, Eddie? Not the drinking and driving. Oh. And he was just getting the last drops. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Yeah, I mean, I am going to remove that comment because that is incredibly insensitive comment to make, and that is not a joke. Because alcoholism is not a joke, and it is a sickness. So I'm not gonna allow that. Uh, Anywho, that is hard to watch because I'm not gonna lie. I'll get a little personal. My grandfather died because of alcoholism, and so that's tough. I have seen the depths of how people would react when they don't when they don't I when they don't get what they want in terms of their substance abuse, and they will do anything for it. And that is definitely an example of doing anything for it, because that is tough to have something like that overcome you to the point where you have to literally crawl through a field of empty bottles, and just have a little tiny drop of alcohol, and that will like satisfy you. Which is why we do need to be a little bit more sensitive when it comes to people that are addicts, because it's not something to joke around about. And especially when it comes to performers that everyone says that, that you love, you shouldn't be joking around about that. And I mean, we all should be sensitive about it because there's so many of us throughout not only the wrestling community but the entire world that have had someone close to them or know someone that it was close to somebody who unfortunately has dealt with substance abuse and that has possibly died. So definitely not something to joke around about. And again, what I was saying earlier, it's hard for someone, I mean, again, especially at this time, this is a time where I don't know what the situation was with painkillers. I mean, we all know that everybody was popping painkillers, especially in the 90s. But alcohol, I would see numbing the pain with wrestling, and especially putting your body on the line. So, I mean, again, it makes sense. It is not, you know, a valid reason. Uh, but at this time, I could imagine someone, especially at his age, still wrestling, at the time when he was still wrestling, and having to numb that pain and turning to alcohol. So that's tough to hear. That's tough to watch. I am fascinated with this episode solely because it is such a theme in professional wrestling with this kind of behavior, this behavior of torturing people as a means of training people to make them tough in the ring and numbing their pain. It's a very common issue in professional wrestling. And even now. Oh. Whoa. That transition in the scene with the birthday candles. Whoa. Oh shit. Oh boy. How do you shoot yourself twice? Damn. That's a tough story to tell. Again, mental illness also plays a factor in that as well. Hmm. Oh. He had he had trouble saying E and not F. Oh boy. Kevin Sullivan is about to spill the tea. Oh, he blamed Dusty. Oh. His son had to lead the territory. Not Michael Hayes. That's a wild thing to say, but it's wrestling. And he didn't know how either. Damn. Oh, what's the tragedy? The way I just got goosebumps when he said that he is about to face another tragedy. Oh my god. I wish I had a better camera so I can show you my goosebumps. What is this guy about to go through next? That is tough. That is tough to not only deal with your father's death, and it's worse because it's suicide. Um and now you have to take care of this business, this company, this promotion, this territory that was already failing under your dad. And now you have to pick up the pieces. Um And I agree with people that are saying it in the chat. I am not a fan of when wrestling exploits somebody's death when it comes to a story for wrestling. Not a fan of it. And yeah, I think it was an in poor taste as well. And sometimes as a viewer, you can read through the television screen. You can smell the desperation when someone has to stoop to those levels of exploiting a death like that. But, you know, it's hard. It's hard. There really are no words for that. Um it's tough. And again, especially back then, mental health was just not even a thing, was non-existent. And I can understand that he was probably struggling with that, was probably struggling with a lot of depression and trauma, especially. And I completely understand, but it's um it's tough. And it's tough, especially back then when, you know, you it's it's very hard because with suicide, it's such a taboo subject, and it was definitely a taboo subject um back then. But I will say it is very difficult for men to admit how they're feeling and open up about their own depression because of this stupid fucking stigma of like, you gotta be a man, man's man, blah 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 blah, you can't show any emotion because you can't be weak. It's bullshit. Anyway, we're back to the show. Damn, Joshin Thunder Liger. Oh, living his best life. Mm. Oh no. How did he get away with something like that? That changes a person. That's what I'm talking about. And especially in wrestling, you can't show any emotions because that's weakness. And that's not true. I think this is just close to just generational trauma as well. in this family. Oh, oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, yeah, girl, I'm worried about you now. Damn. Oh my God. Oh, what are we getting next week? Oh, I thought it was the promo for next week's episode, but it's just Dark Side of the Football in 90s. Oh my God, I feel so bad for this poor woman. The fact that at such a young age you already had to deal with suicide because of your grandfather and you were worried about your father and then you find your brother. I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine. Jeez. I feel for this woman. This is so tough. And I understand like Mike Graham not being the same. I mean, again, like losing a parent is a life-changing uh it's such a life-changing event in a person's life, but especially when you lose a parent in that way and with taking their own lives, so many questions, so many like wonders about it. It's just really sad all around. I don't under oh my gosh. I have no idea what to say. What do you guys think? How are you guys feeling about this episode? I'm honestly again, I'm in a state of shock because I'm more so in a state of shock because of how much this family has had to go through with this particular subject of taking their own lives. Like it's jeez. My goodness. I'm speechless. I am speechless. And you know what I just thought of? I have a I have a comic book. I forget the name, and I'll have to find it and post about it. But I have a comic book that is all about the history of professional wrestling, and Eddie Graham is actually in the comic book, and the way that they draw him is just so distinct. Like, it's so accurate to his chiseled face. Um, but yes, this is such a tough subject to deal with. And again, the subject of suicide is such a hard topic to not only handle as someone who has to deal with it, but also like it's also hard for people that are struggling to reach out. And so I think it's more of a valid saying that people should reach out to their friends when they feel like their friends need somebody. And even if your friends are denying you, be that person to be annoying because they probably need that. It's very difficult to ask someone who is going through depression and thoughts of unaliving themselves. It is very difficult to say, reach out to me. You have to reach out to them. And that's just the way it is. And that's just how it is. Oh my God. Oh, what a sad family story. I mean, Robin Williams is a good example too of that, right? He's made so many people laugh and he's so goofy, and even behind his eyes, you couldn't see the pain that he was going through, especially with the illness that he was going through too, his medical illness. That poor family. I was going to say, three generations. Oh my God. It's commercial break now, but jeez. I definitely need to, after this episode, this is a heavy episode. This is such a heavy episode. Oh my gosh. And Nicole is right. Like, this mental illness that people go through, and again, like, the substance abuse that people go through, it is, runs through a lineage. Like, it is passed down. Uh, and that is just so tragic to think that. And yeah, she is right as well that like once you are affected by someone that does take their own lives and you are in that state, especially afterwards, you do feel like it is viable to do that as well. But Jesus fucking Christ. Like 4 generations and 5 family members. That is tough. That is so tough. I feel so awful. And again, like I was saying before, to say people like that go through substance abuse and that go through mental illness as well, for people to say, hey, reach out to me, it is not easy. Half of the time it is, oh my gosh, half of the time it's just tough as hell. But next week we are getting Doink the Clown. A bully? Oh, we're getting Doink the Clown. Jeez. Oh, we're back with the last bit of this episode. Oh, Nicole. Mm. Oh. Dottie. Nicole. What a strong woman. Hmm. Did she get the tattoo? Oh, Nicole. Yes. Yes, yes. I appreciate Dark Side of the Ring for adding this resource for the suicide and crisis lifeline. And definitely call 988 if you are feeling that, or visit 988lifeline.org for sure. But what a tough subject to handle, especially when you are dealing with more than one account of this. But Silver Black 31, thank you so much for the super chat. A very generous super chat. Thank you so much. He says, this is a heavy episode. I hope everyone goes do something they enjoy. Go call a friend and a family member that might be down. You never know, you might have saved them. And I would agree, definitely call a loved one or a family member, someone that you probably have not heard from in a while and they've been on your mind. Definitely go follow them, you know, reach out to them, call them. And even it doesn't have to, you don't have to have a reason. The reason just could be like, I just wanted to hear your voice. And that would brighten their spirits so much more. But you're absolutely right, Silver Black. Thank you so much for that generous super chat. Thank you for sending that in. Um yeah, that's a very tough subject. And again, it does go back to, like, you know, you have to vent, you have to talk about the things that you are dealing with mentally. You have to talk about it, even if it is just getting a journal, writing it down on a piece of paper, and just getting the feeling out of your brain. Getting the thoughts out of your brain help so much. I mean, you know, I've tweeted about it before. I've mentioned it before, definitely on this channel. I have struggled with mental health uh for decades at this point. I was diagnosed with depression at like the age of 12, and I have been there where I'm on the edge and I, you know, don't want to be here. And so that's why I say it is difficult for people to reach out, because I have had difficulty of reaching out to others. And I'm happy that I'm here, and I'm happy that you all are here as well. Cuz it's tough to deal with. It's tough to deal with as someone who has to view it through a person that they love, but it's very tough to handle it and accept it, and not so much accept it, but more so acknowledge that you are not okay. And it's also tough to acknowledge that you are loved as well. So, this is a very heavy subject, and this is a subject that I would say it will stay with me. It will definitely stay with me. And I will put this up. The National Crisis Program was launched, so please be aware of 988. If you are dealing with that, if you do need someone to talk to as well, that lifeline is there. But I will definitely make sure to add in the bio once this stream is over. I will add the resource for that as well. But again, please, please reach out to somebody, whether that's reaching out to somebody if you don't feel very, very well, or reaching out to someone that you love. You're not alone. It does get better. It is very hard to see the light when it is dark, but it does get better. And this is tough. And again, like I said, it is very tough. Nobody has it worse, but I will say it is very tough for men to go through depression, to go through anxiety and mental health, issues as well, because again, for so many decades, and this is all about the fucking patriarchy as well, there's so many decades where men are, encouraged to not speak out and to not speak on their emotions, and they have to toughen up and they have to bottle up inside. But that is the biggest issue, is that they are bottling up inside and they feel like they don't have a space to express how they feel and express any trauma that they might have gone through, express any emotion that they are going through. Men don't have the space to do that, and sometimes it's very, very tough to find the space for that, especially when you are conditioned by a society that encourages you to not speak up and to not seek help for that and to not have a space to express yourself. And it is a generational thing. It is a thing that was done many, many years ago and still was, and even it still is, but I think that there are spaces. I mean, I know friends of mine, I will always open up a space for them, and I know that they have recently found spaces with other men, other male presenting people, and everything in between. And so it's tough, and it's tough for anyone to have to deal with that. But again, please reach out. 988, that is the lifeline, if you need it, or someone that you may know need it as well. But thank you so much. Thank you again for joining me for tonight's watch along. Although these subjects are very heavy, it is nice to acknowledge what needs to be done, acknowledge that, again, we are not alone, and acknowledge that it is okay to talk about things and to talk about how you are feeling and what you are going through as well. And yeah, these episodes are heavy, but I am glad to have the space with you guys to share our thoughts and emotions as well. So on that note, thank you again for joining me tonight, and I will see you guys next week for our 4th episode of Dark Side of the Ring, and it is all about Doink the Clown. Doink the Clown. We'll see what kind of circus we will run into next week, folks. But for now, I am Alex Lajas. Thank you so much for joining me. Please make sure to like this video, share it with your friends as well, and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I have more content on my channel. But for now, I will see you guys very, very soon. Thank you and good night.